Love songs have always existed in abundance, and every so often, more mature, darker love songs emerge. Many of them feel similar, and finding a truly distinctive track can be rare. Yet, Devil's Jam stands out. At first glance, it seems like a mature, dark love song with seductive and empowering elements, but today we'll explore an additional meta layer together. Devil's Jam initially appears as a song that addresses classic themes of adult and intense love. Desire, emotional tension, frustration, and self-assertion occur side by side. Intense feelings, the up and down of closeness and distance, as well as the mixture of dominance, seduction, and vulnerability, make the song approachable and comprehensible. We understand the relationship of the lovers, along with their feelings, the frustration, the love, the dynamics, the uncertainty, the vulnerability, and the reflection of the lyrical self, as well as the development of emotional complexity and the evolution of the relationship. Moreover, the song presents a dynamic balance between control and surrender, creating a sense of heterogeneity between the lovers. Intoxication, sensuality, seduction, attraction, and desire are fully integrated into this interplay. While none of these aspects are entirely new and have been incorporated and have been woven in other songs, what distinguishes Devil's Jam is that these elements can be interpreted on a deeper level. The song can be understood not merely in isolated passages, but as a coherent, dualistic structure throughout. What does this mean? You might know dualism from physics, but don't worry, we'll take a more tangible example. In the context of battle rap, a scheme does not mean a fixed order or a predefined plan. It has its own conventional semantics. Scheme stands for double meanings. Each line or verse carries two layers, two meanings that exist simultaneously, even though they sound identical. This creates a multi-layered effect. In rap, these are always homophones. For example, I hate rain. Admittedly, Devil's Jam does not operate as a phonetic scheme. There are no homophonic double meanings, or at least not intended, or hardly. Its dualism manifests exclusively on the level of semantics, reflecting tensions and contradictions within its content. Were it a complete scheme song, in which both phonetic and semantic layers function in tandem, it would stand as an unassailable masterpiece, and that would be fecking insane. What follows is an exposition of the second, dualistic layer of Devil's Jam. Moments of closeness, seduction, or surrender simultaneously convey the fascination with and the interest in becoming an idol, while on a dualistic level, they expose the accompanying exploitation, control, and external domination imposed by the company. In the same way, instances of emotional intoxication, seduction, or desire can be interpreted as reflecting the pressures and constraints inherent in commercial idol production. Expressions of self-assertion, frustration, or emotional tension can be read dualistically. On one hand, they mirror personal conflicts within the relationship. On the other, they reveal the structural inequality between the idol and the company as an instrument of repression. This inequality is concealed by a broadly propagated fairness narrative, which is socially embedded by right-wing, neoliberal, and capitalistically motivated actors to legitimize their power structures and to prevent the general public from developing awareness of repression and exploitation mechanisms. Lines depicting detachment, self-determination, or emotional emancipation carry a dual meaning. They reflect the dynamics within the romantic relationship while simultaneously symbolizing a liberation from restrictive corporate structures, including Jeewon's departure from C9. Jeewon's chain symbolizes repression, a tangible representation of the constraints and controls imposed upon her in her previous company. The lover in a suit represents not only the romantic counterpart, but also functions as a metaphor for the company itself, distant, powerful, and part of the structural power relations in which she operated. The scene of liberation, in turn, depicts her emancipation. The lyrical self breaks free from constraints, regains control over body and desire, and escapes external domination. Simultaneously, the snake and the apple, classic symbols of seduction and temptation, carry a dual reading, alluding not only to desire and intoxication within the dark love narrative, but also subtly referencing entry into C9 entertainment and the accompanying process of instrumentalization. Of course, the dualistic layer remains a theoretical interpretation. It is not as straightforward as the song's obvious reading. Nevertheless, I find it compelling to articulate. Considering the abundance of indications, I regard the theory as highly plausible. If it holds true, Devil's Jam is not merely an outstanding song, but a multi-layered work that directly references Jeewon's personal trajectory, skillfully intertwining emotion, power, and emancipation. At the same time, it functions as a subtle social critique, illustrating through Jeewon's experiences the economic power structures and the liberties companies unfortunately possess in exploiting and repressing artists within our capitalist system.